Japan's deputy prime minister said the country needed to defend Taiwan with the United States if the island was invaded. Deputy Prime Minister Taro Aso stated, "If China invades Taiwan, Tokyo may interpret the move as a threat to Japan's survival and deploy the self-defense forces to exercise collective self-defense." Aso said during a speech in Tokyo, "If a major incident happened in Taiwan, it would not be strange at all if it touches on a situation threatening survival. If that's the case, Japan and the US must defend Taiwan together." Aso stated, "We need to think hard that Okinawa could be next." Aso, who also serves as finance minister, is one of 4 cabinet members who sits on Japan's National Security Council. This is one of the most important assertions and has massive implications. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Japan indicating that it will join the US in defending Taiwan is a serious setback for China. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. Taiwan and China have been at loggerheads for decades now. Their conflict can be traced back to 1949 and the end of the Civil War of China. The nationalists were defeated, whereas communists won. The nationalists moved to Taiwan and set up their own government there. Communists set up the People's Republic of China. Both sides claimed they represented the whole of China. China considers Taiwan as part of its territory and is willing to bring it back into its fold, even if it requires force. It's important to note that incumbent President Tsai Ing-wen won the 2020 Taiwanese presidential election with her Democratic Progressive Party and was re-elected to a second term with a historic record of 8.17 million votes. That's 57.1%. This is seen as a sharp rebuke to Beijing and its attempts to intimidate and lure Taiwan into China's fold. She easily defeated her opponent, Han Kuo-yu, whose Kuomintang party promotes closer ties with China. Since this, China has taken an increasingly hostile stance and has been sending aircraft and ships to intimidate Taiwan, as well as openly conducting drills for the takeover of the island nation. Japan's deputy prime minister noted that the situation over Taiwan is becoming extremely intense, referring to Chinese President Xi Jinping's comments about the self-ruled island during a speech last week to commemorate the Communist Party's 100-year anniversary. Xi had stated, "Resolving the Taiwan question and realizing China's complete reunification is a historic mission and an unshakable commitment of the party." According to Japan's constitution, adopted after the Second World War, it's a pacifist country. Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution states that the Japanese people forever renounce war and the threat or use of force. Previously, the only scenario in which Japan's self-defense forces could use force involved an armed attack situation, such as an organized and premeditated attack against Japan's territorial land, sea, or airspace. In 2015, under then Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, Japan enacted a series of security laws that expanded the conditions for deploying the self-defense forces. One new concept involved situations threatening Japan's survival. As interpreted by most experts, now Japan no longer needs to be attacked directly for Japan's self-defense forces to get active. The U.S. is Japan's ally and is bound by the Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security to come to Japan's aid in case Japan faces aggression from an external party. The United States is responsible for defending Japan under Article 5 of the Security Treaty, and if the United States is attacked, this could affect Japan's survival and enables Japan to use force to help the U.S. The relation between Taiwan and the United States is unofficial and informal, and is governed by the Taiwan Relations Act. The Taiwan Relations Act is designed to maintain ambiguity and does not state if the USA will or will not intervene militarily if China attacks or invades Taiwan. Under the Act, the U.S. is obligated to sell arms of a defensive character to Taiwan. The distance between Taiwan and China is about 200 kilometers, or about 125 miles. Viewers may note that only about 10 to 12% of Taiwan's coastline is suitable for amphibious landing, and this removes any possibility of surprise attack. An amphibious assault is one of the trickiest operations, and China has no real experience in this. In terms of size, Taiwan's 170,000-strong army is comparable with that of Germany. It's also getting several weapons platforms that could have a real impact. Taiwan will receive 66 new American-made F-16 fighter jets in the biggest arms sale to the self-governing island in years. The deal was finalized last year, and deliveries expected to start in 2023. Also, its existing 141 F-16 fighters are being upgraded to F-16V standard, which has the Northrop Grumman AN/APG-83 multifunction active electronically scanned array AESA radar that makes it a potent adversary even for more modern fighters. Taiwan has also signed a deal for 135 AGM-84H Standoff Land Attack Missile Expanded Response, or SLAMR missiles, and related equipment made by Boeing for an estimated $1.008 billion. If a collaborative front is formed by Taiwan, Japan, and the U.S., it makes things incredibly difficult for Chinese forces.